Hello. I. How could you tell there was audio? I wasn't saying anything. I took off the external mic, and I'm just using the phone mic. Okay, well, I need more than a wind check. I need a check with my voice. Sometimes what? What does that mean? Sometimes. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. Come in, whoever's watching. Check, check, check. Hey, what's up, Dalala Mutawa? Dalala Mutawa. And where are you? Are you in Indonesia? What's up? Oh, there's Dalala saying hello again. Or Dalala. How about Dalala? Sorry, I don't have my microphone on, so the audio might not be too clear. How's it sound to you, Dalala? Does it sound okay? Hey, what's up, Tristan? Hey, I don't have the external mic on because apparently it's not even charged, and I'm sure I charged it at the house, but both mics are dead, so I'm relying on the phone mic. I'm not sure how clear or distant I sound. How's it sound to you? Uh-oh, I just hit trees. Hold on a second. Can't believe I threw it that high to get it in the branches. Nothing yet. Can you hear me okay? Oh, it's fine. Okay, okay. It's like there's a delay between when you type and send and when I receive it. So I get confused as to whether or not you heard me or what responses in reply to another, etc., etc. I just got out here, Tristan, and I've been troubleshooting this sound problem for the last half an hour, sitting here doing absolutely nothing but getting frustrated, calling my house, having my son listen to the live stream and tell me if I have sound, and him responding via text instead of in the chat room, and I'm bouncing back and forth and disconnecting because I have to go back, etc., etc. Anyway, so I ended up I couldn't figure out what the problem was, and then I looked at my microphones and I have no power light on either one of them. It just doesn't make sense. Why would both microphones have no power when I'm sure I charged them on my couch? Oh well. Yeah, I'm sure the wind does. I forgot where you are again. It's it's already 5:22. I've been out here an hour and done absolutely nothing except cast this line a few times. Okay. Nine people, come on in. And whoever gave me all the 6 thumbs up, I thank you. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to speak to anybody. There's like 4 people came in the room, and I was trying to do my pantomime, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And nobody's responding. And I was like, oh my gosh. That on top of everything else was just driving me berserk. I'm looking for a big 514 that I caught over here, and I'm talking to myself as far as like what was he doing over here? I know where he was. And what time of the year? I think it was about this time of the year, after the spawn. Looks like they've all spawned already. That was about a week ago. So come evening time, what are they doing? They're going to be feeding right around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I've got like no productivity over here in this hole so far this spring. Maybe there is a pickerel and some small bass. So, okay, I stand corrected. It's not nothing, but where do these monsters go? Oh, look at that. That was a giant splat. Not giant. That was a significant little surface boil there. Wonder what that was. Right on top of it. Yeah. Let me do that here real quick. Just please be, what's the word? I'm not even thinking of the word. Here, let me give some instructions, I guess. Do me a favor. If you see somebody in here and you don't recognize them, and you go to their channel and you check their channel, and they've only been on for today, they just developed their account, today or in the last 6 months. I'm trying to think of a time frame. If they've only had their channel for less than a month, just remove them. Don't even ask questions, no matter what they've said, or even if they've said anything. If they've got a channel that's less than a month old and it's got no content, that's the two. It's got, it's just a blank channel. In other words, they just made it. That's usually an indication that they're up to no good. And they're in here to, troll channels. If they're just being, in disagreement with me or without using profanity and they're not being rude and saying stupid stuff, then leave them in here. The longer somebody's on the channel, the better for the analytics and the algorithm. So discretion, that was the word I was looking for earlier. Just use discretion with, who you remove. Okay? Some people, hold on a second. Now this is to everybody, there's a mute button for a reason. And if they're just, if they're saying something that just doesn't make you feel comfortable, then just mute them. And you won't see their posts and they won't see your posts. That's what the mute button is for. But just because you're a mod, doesn't mean you got to remove them. Get it? Yeah. Now see, I'm saying this because I've learned through live streaming, the do's and the don'ts. And I see, bad habits on other live streams with moderators. I've been a moderator along with other moderators, and I'll say something and some other moderator misunderstands what I say. He takes it out of context. And next thing you know, I'm on timeout. I'm like, what? And then when I come back with my other channel name, to ask what happened. I asked the host, did you put me on timeout? And they're like, nope, I didn't do it. And it's like, and then the moderator comes forward and says, you need to stop saying whatever, and I went, dude, you took that way out of context. I said, anyways, you get it? And so just because they don't like it, they're removing somebody when the host may have understood perfectly fine what I was saying. Anyways, it's not easy. Sometimes you make mistakes, and sometimes you put them on timeout. You didn't mean to, and that happens. But anyways, so yeah, that's my 2 cents. Actually, Owen, you know what? Here, let me speaking of, now that you said that, let me elaborate a little further. The only instances that I've seen moderators be a problem is here in America. And I say that because when I got into live streaming, I got introduced to it. It's back in 2019. Let me undo my mouth here. And my wife is from the Philippines, okay? And she comes to me one day and she says, honey, you need to go on live stream and promote your channel. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she says, yeah, post your link and have people click on it and da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking, okay, there's way too much info. What are you talking about? And I couldn't for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what she was referring to. So she says, here, talk to, and she has a family member over in the Philippines, and she brings them up on Facebook, I'm sorry, Messenger. And I speak to him in a video chat, and I say, hey, Bone, that's his name, his nickname. What's Althea, and what's my wife talking about? He says, and then he starts explaining. He says, Filipinos have live streams, and they're doing it to help each other grow their channels. They call them small YouTubers. And I'm like, okay, and he says, here's how they do it, or here's how we do it. Somebody goes live, like I'm live right now, and people will come into the chat room. Now, with the Filipinos, it's primarily Filipinos are attending their live stream. So it's Filipinos all the way around. And they're there for a specific reason. They're there to grow their YouTube channel. Why? Because the Philippines is a third world country, and they are hurting as far as finances go. Their whole economy is a mess, and people suffer there. And so any opportunity to make money, is raises their eyebrows. So this YouTube possibility, YouTube live streaming became a way of earning revenue. And so anyways, back to, they come into the live stream, like my live stream. You would come into my live stream, and you're here to grow your YouTube channel, to get subscribers, okay? There's 2 criteria to get monetized. That is to get super chat button next to your chat room, your chat box, your text box, and other methods. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That means people watching your channel for 4,000 hours per year. Now they lowered it to 3,000, where you can begin to earn revenue, and 4,000 you get all of the perks. So anyways, that's what they're in the chat room to do. They're in, and how do you do that? Well, in order to post a link, the URL of your YouTube channel, you need to be a moderator. And if you're not, you can post a link, but nobody will see it. You'll see it on your end, but nobody else will. It's not clickable. Well, it becomes clickable when you're a moderator. So when people come in and they verify a quick, looking at their channel to make sure they've got content and they're not there just to, cause problems, they make them a moderator. And the sole reason, again, is so that they can post their channel link. So they grab their channel link, they copy it, they come back into the chat room, and they paste their URL. Everybody in the chat room is doing the same thing. So everybody's posting URLs. And you're clicking on you're clicking on one, and that takes you to their YouTube channel, and you subscribe, and you hit the thumbs up, and you watch their video, and you comment. You give them a full package, they call it. You do all of the above. And then when you're done, you come back. I can barely see you guys because I'm looking into the sun. You come back into the chat room and you do it again. You post your URL, and everybody's doing it. They're going to your channel, you're going to their channel, and you get 20 people in the room, and you get, a possibility of 20 people subscribing within minutes. And over a short period of time, for example, I went from 148 subscribers to over 1,000. Okay, so I got my 1,000 subscribers. And now you got to get people to watch your channel. That's the whole reason for not just going to their channel and giving them a thumbs up and a subscribe, but you got to watch their video, because that's called watch hours. Now, are they dedicated subscribers where they're going to watch your videos all the time? Probably not. This is kind of like a one-time thing where you can just grow your YouTube channel incrementally over a relatively short period of time. The key is to develop content so that you have regular viewers and they can sustain your watch hours without you even thinking about it or even trying. You just get online like I am now, and people watch you on a regular basis, like a television channel back in the day, and people are watching your channel. So that's the purpose of moderators in the Filipino live stream community. They don't have a problem with people doing inordinate things with their moderator title, and putting people on timeout and deleting them and yada yada yada. They don't have that problem. I didn't even know that was a problem when I first got into this live stream community, this Filipino live stream community, until I started attending American live streamers, and they're all about drama. They're not there to grow their channel. If they are, they're not making you a moderator. No, can't make him a moderator. Because why? It's a crapshoot. You see? It's like, I didn't even know that was a thing, a problem, until I started attending live streamers here in America. And they're all about drama. I was like, gosh. So, I'm not here. Actually, I am 50-50. If I know they're Filipino or they introduce themselves and I ask them and they are, and I speak Tagalog with them or Visaya, their dialect, I just know a little bit of each, and they answer back, I realize, okay, they're Filipino, and I can go to their channel and check, and sure enough, they've got content and they've got maybe 500 subscribers, and I realize, you know what? They're growing their YouTube channel. I make them a moderator. Why? Because I know they're not going to give me drama. They're not here for that. They're here to grow their channel. And they're going to post their link, we found out that you don't need to post your link. You can just click on the 3 dots next to their name and you can go to their channel and then go about it that way. But anyways, that was the whole gist 7 years ago, how I got introduced to this. So now I got to kind of vet, moderators, only because of the experience I have with American live streamers, who are so cautious about who they make moderators, because they're not there. They're there for another reason. They're just there to, and why am I live streaming? For both of those reasons. I'm here to grow my channel and maybe get some subscribers, because I'm not monetized yet. I'm lacking watch hours. I've got enough subscribers. How many subscribers do I got? 4,000 or something, 3,000, whatever it is, 3,400. But I need watch hours. So that's my dilemma. People watching my content. Does live streaming contribute to watch hours? Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, you can get more watch hours live streaming than you can with watching a video. How? You're watching me right now. And how long have you been watching me? For the last 10 minutes, me talking. That's equivalent to watching a 10-minute video of mine. You see? Where what is the likelihood somebody's going to sit down and watch one of my videos for 10 minutes? Well, first of all, my videos aren't 10 minutes long. They're 2 to 4 minutes long. And the likelihood of somebody just spending 4 minutes to watch the entire video is not, I'm not there yet. So I rely on shorts, because people have a tendency to watch 30 seconds or less. More likely they're going to watch 30 seconds or less, the entire thing. And watching the entire video does do good for your, what's the word? Not analytics, but your, why'd I get a brain fart all of a sudden? Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. YouTube recognizes that somebody's watching your content from beginning to end, and they start recommending that more often, and your channel, your videos start getting recommended more often and in front of more people, and you see the advantage of that. The more people, the better. Yeah, that too, Jay. Hey, Jay, I just realized it's you. Yeah. Now, ads are irrelevant if you're not monetized. You do get ads on your videos even if you're not monetized. That changed years ago. So you do get ads, but that's for the company's benefit. The more time their ad gets seen, the more likelihood that somebody's going to click on it. No, I'm not, Jay. You can see that. I don't have a $sign next to your chat box. So anyhow, give me a second here. What did I do with my? Oh, I was missing the tail. I was like, wait a minute. Why did I throw my bait away? I don't have a tail. Okay. All right. I got this dark watermelon green Senko here, or worm, that I found in the gathering dust in my car, and I realized, well, I use these colors. Why don't I try that? Why don't I just get them out of the archives here and just pitch them out there? Why not? Hold on a second. Algorithm, that was the word I was looking for. And everything else that Jay mentioned. And I wouldn't have known that had I not been involved in this Filipino live stream community. They were the ones that educated me on the little bit that I know, including their language and their dialect. That got me finally interested in learning some Tagalog, and then I ended up asking questions about another dialect, and then started learning phrases and words. And I still don't know my wife's dialect. I don't know. I know less of that than I do Tagalog. It doesn't make her very happy. It doesn't put a smile on her face. How come you don't learn Ilonggo? Well, I don't know. I just never had an interest. And then all of a sudden I started I don't know why, I just started wanting to learn a little more of the root language, their Tagalog there in the Philippines. And then one thing led to the other, and then I was learning some of the equivalent expressions and sentences in the Visaya dialect. Technically, my wife's dialect is Visayan. I keep saying it with a B. But their dialect is it's unique. So it's not like somebody that speaks Visayan can understand Ilonggo. Although some words are similar or the same. Yeah, so anyhow. Sorry, I'm not reading your friend of mine from New Zealand hoping to move to Manila. Cool. I will watch you all day. Thanks, Tristan. Well, on that note, here's a what do you want to call it? A technique that people in the live stream community have learned, and that is they start helping each other. And sometimes a veteran live streamer who's already monetized, already earning, will take a small YouTuber under their wing, and they will help them they become a part of a community where they actually will give a name to a community that they want to start. For instance, Doc's live stream community. And you start recruiting people into your community. And the reason for that is because, let's say I got a community of 20 people in my group, like a Facebook group, right? And you're all communicating with each other via Facebook Messenger. That's something off to the side. You know, you're all talking with each other outside of YouTube. And your whole goal is to help small YouTubers. So if I decide as the group owner that I want to help somebody that only has, 50 subscribers, I'm going to take their URL. I'm going to come into the group in Facebook Messenger. I'm going to say, hey guys, here's another that we're going to help promote. And everybody will not only just click on their channel and subscribe to them, but they're going to take their videos that they're posting, whether they're shorts or they're full-length videos, and they're going to watch them on their laptop or laptops or phones, plural. Some of them have 4 cell phones and a laptop, and they will bring up their channel on all of their devices. They call them gadgets in the Philippines. They're going to bring them up all on their gadgets, their channel, that small YouTuber's channel, on, say, 5 different gadgets. And they're going to click play. And what they want you to do is they want the small YouTuber to develop a long video. As a matter of fact, maybe a live stream. Do a live stream where you're on for 2 hours, okay? And I'm going to grab that 2-hour live stream URL, and I'm going to bring it up on all 5 of my gadgets, and I'm going to hit play on all 5 of those gadgets. You see? So now I'm creating 25 hours of watch hours all at the same time. After 2 hours, I did the math wrong. 2 times 5. You're developing 10 hours of watch hours for that person on 5 of your gadgets, because they're all playing that 2-hour live stream. You see? But now you got 20 people in your group all doing that also. So now you got 200 watch hours, right? 2 times 5 is 10 watch hours times the 20 people. You got 200 watch hours by 20 people watching your 2-hour live stream on 5 of their gadgets. I'm just kind of giving a best case scenario. You see? And who would know that? Unless you get involved in this. And that's a way of growing these guys at a pretty quick basis. My example is long compared to how short of a time people have become monetized. I took 11 months to get monetized. I went from 178 subscribers to over, by the time 11 months was over, I was like at 2,000 plus, and I had over 4,000. At the time, it was 3,000 watch hours. No, it's always been 4,000, sorry. And I had 4,000 plus watch hours. That was a previous channel that I had. What happened to that? It wasn't lucrative, and the content was primarily fishing, and it's a flooded market. Fishing is very flooded. So I decided to just change the content, and at the time I was kind of burnt out on all social media, and I got rid of my accounts, including YouTube. So that title went by the wayside. Facebook went by the wayside. Instagram went by the wayside, and the only thing that I've redeveloped is this YouTube. And I created another name, another channel with another name. So, and it's more of a something to do for me. Whether I start making money at it or not, I don't really care. But maybe again, one day, I'll make some gas money. Sorry, I got off the track there, the original subject there of making you a moderator there, Tristan. Jay, for example, he's been around for a while with me, you know, and he's an older guy, mature, you know, and he's not from America. I don't know if you were here, Jay, earlier. I was talking about the American YouTubers, the American live streamers, and how much of a crapshoot it is. You know, it's taking your chances when making somebody a moderator, because their intent isn't what the Filipinos' intent is of making somebody a moderator. So if you ever go into a Filipino live stream, more than likely, not always, you will see everybody in the room as a moderator. The whole room is blue. It's because of that very reason that I explained. They're not there to kick each other out and to moderate, as the word says. You know, they're not there to moderate. They're there to post their URL so people can click on it. And you can't do that unless you're a moderator. Okay, this hole is not producing this time of the year. I keep coming back to it. I keep getting that bug to run into this monster bass that I caught here a couple years ago, and it ain't happening. Moderating can be helpful, you know, if you've actually got a productive channel and you're doing some productive live streaming, where the owner of the channel can concentrate on being a host, and the rest of the peripheral stuff you can assign, you know, you can manage and assign to your moderators, and they can take care of that. And there's certain, as you may know already, there's certain levels of moderator that you can assign to people. You know, you can assign people the same capability that you have. And then there's a standard moderator, which is what most of you guys are, and it's limited, you know, as to what you can do with the channel. So moderators can be helpful. Okay, what am I doing? I'm talking and losing my train of thought. I'm going to, hold on a second. Oh. My propeller will line itself up 50% of the time. Speaking of crapshoot, it's a crapshoot as to whether or not the propeller aligns itself with this. Here, let me show you something here. This is a pedal slot. This is where the pedals go on a kayak. Okay? Right now I've got my trolling motor in that pedal slot. See? So if that propeller, which you see is vertical right now, is vertical, I can raise it up with no problem. But if it's horizontal, it's going to hit the bottom of the boat and I can't raise it up. So I got to use my paddle and reach forward and push it down into the water and align that thing vertical so I can raise it up. Because I've got a pull cord that goes down the beam, down the gunnel, all the way down here to this cleat. And there's my pull handle here. It's a a lawnmower handle. Okay? And that thing goes all the way up to the front to that 3-to-1 pulley system up there, and that's how I raise the trolling motor. Got it? Because this is a tandem kayak. Where my bags are right here, that's usually the front seat. but I don't have a writer. Okay, anyhow. Let me paddle out of here. Oh, Tristan, sorry. Yeah, true. I remember last year we used to get a few big trolls come in. You don't mind them, but eventually they went overboard. Yep. You know, I was telling Tristan, you get angry people in here. That's especially if I'm speaking about the Word of God. You'll get. It just comes with the territory. They crucified Christ. That's how angry they got over him. So you can imagine, what I encounter when I bring up his word. So anyways, but that's okay. Leave them in here. Let them get angry. I'll eventually get sick of them and get rid of them myself. But as long as they're not using profanity and or sexual connotations and all that stuff, then just leave them in here. And I was telling Jay, I was telling Tristan, everybody has a mute button, and I think it's the most underutilized feature in live stream. Just mute them. You won't see their comments, and they won't see yours. They're still there, but eventually, if nobody's responding, they'll figure it out. Okay, nobody's responding. I'm still in the room, but nobody's responding. And when they don't get attention, then they'll eventually leave. And if they don't leave, that's even better for me. That's watch hours for me, right? Remember I was saying, the longer they're in here, it's like watching a video. The better, the longer the better. Okay. I was trying to use my URL or Eli. Finally got a CEO of the United States that makes things happen. Make it happen. Okay, let's see. Gosh, I get so tempted. I just wanna fish, and I'm not even where I. Okay, might as well try it. Let's see what these solid watermelon green worms produce here. No idea what they're going to do. Eli, where are you? Where are you coming from? Are you still there? No, not yet, Tristan. I just got here. Like I said, I've been wasting my time for about the last hour trying to troubleshoot an audio issue I was having, and I must have went live 3 times. I think this is my 4th try, because I even had my son on the phone asking him to watch my channel to see if he could hear me, and it was a disaster. So I haven't done any fishing except for where I just left and right now. Man, it's 6 o'clock already. It's pretty steep right at the moment. Oh my gosh, 825 in New Zealand? That's US dollars? Holy moly. It's half that here. I just got gas in my gas can for the lawnmower. And hold on. And it was 450. 450? Yeah. Maybe more. Maybe it was 475. I forget, but somewhere around there. Yeah, it'll stay light until 8:15. It's that time of the year. With the time before the spring forward, that's when we'll lose an hour. You know, we have that daylight savings time in the fall, where we fall back 1 hour. That's how you remember which way to go with the clock. And during the spring, you spring forward 1 hour. And we're yet, did we do that already? Yeah, we did that already. Sorry. What am I saying? So because we spring forward an hour, that bought us some extra daylight. So now it's light until like 8:15, I think. What time is the? Google it. What's sundown in Atlantic City, New Jersey? Yeah. You're in some of the shortest days of the year, right? Yeah, we just finished winter. And winter hung on for a while this year. The snow and ice finally stopped around. Gosh, what was this? This is May. Was it April? I was like, wait, it's supposed to be spring. And all of a sudden, the temperature would drop again down into the 20s Fahrenheit. That is. And we had a couple of ice storms, which just broke the trees in my. I think you were on live, weren't you, with me when I was walking back through the forest in the ice? Yep. Well, let's see. Philippines is pretty much the opposite of us right now. We're exactly 12 hours ahead of them, behind them. So it's 8, oh, I'm sorry. What time is it right now? It's 6:04 in the morning. They're just waking up. What time is it there right now? Now you guys are like even further ahead. Isn't it more like 9 o'clock in the morning for you? Uh, 16 hours ahead. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're either 15 or 16. Yeah, what time is it there? 10 o'clock in the morning? That would be Thursday morning, right? Yeah, oh, sorry. I just read the end of your sentence. Sorry. Yeah, 10 o'clock. Oh, you know what? I need to stand up. I get too much when I'm sitting down here. Favorite season here on the East Coast is got to be, well, you know what? I'm an all-season kind of guy. I really am, because I come from a mountaineering, climbing background, and you deal with all seasons in that sport. So you learn to dress warm, you stay warm and dry during the winter. And when you learn, how to layer and the proper clothes to wear, you can be you'd be like a kid in a sandbox, and just play in the snow if you got the right gear. So I love the winter. I just finally got back on some cross-country skis at the end of this winter. And haven't done that in, gosh, who knows how long, 20 plus years. And springtime I I dread the summer more than anything because summer can be so hot and humid. Well, I know what humidity is when you go to the Philippines. You know, you're basically on the equator. But it's hard to stay cool and wet in the summertime. You know, when you're out in the elements with the sun beating down on you, you can dress the way I am right now, you know, with long sleeves, gaiter, hat, sunglasses, you know, everything protecting you from the sun, but it's going to bake you, you know, no matter what. It's hard to stay cool when the weather is extremely hot. So summertime tends to slow me down the most. So that would be the least favorite of all the seasons because of that. You know, I'm not a sunbather anymore. I stopped that when I was in my 20s. I was rock climbing, and my brothers and sisters started showing signs of, you know, basal cell, that's skin cancer. And I decided, you know what, I gotta stay covered. And I deal with that now, even staying covered, from my habits of the past. You know, I get spots on my face and on my neck still that I gotta get froze off or whatever. And it's all because of my lifestyle growing up. But otherwise, yeah, summertime's the least. But all the rest of them, you know, I love it. Especially this time of the year. This is so perfect right now. It's like 72 degrees out, 75, and there's a light breeze, and it's partially cloudy. The sun kind of hides behind the clouds. This is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous right now. So springtime and fall. Fall is, you know, or autumn just brings that beautiful weather. It's not winter yet. The summer's over. It's not scorching anymore. The humidity starts to kind of drop. Things start to cool off. They can be really pretty during the fall. Yeah, there you go. Like right around now for us. This is kind of, spring actually started officially in April, I think. But yeah, April, May. We're at the end of May now, but it's really pretty. What is your, Jay, what is your, if you don't know, Google it. What is your longitude? Sorry. What is your latitude? What latitude are you at? Let's see, New Zealand. Are you below the equator? Above the equator? Are you minus or plus? Latitude, lat long. 41 is latitude at 41. Okay, because you're, yeah. You're way north. Yeah, you're at 41. Gotcha. I'm at 30 something. Yeah, why did I think New Zealand was down there by Australia? What am I thinking? Oh, you are. But Australia is below the. You're. Wait a minute. Wait. What was your lat long again? Let me look. Is that minus 41? And minus 174. Minus is below the equator. That's down near, like you said, Antarctica. Yeah, that's south. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. Antarctica. Not the Arctic. Antarctica. I got thrown for a loop there when I read Antarctica. I went north to the North Ice Cap. Come on. These guys got to be start hiding in the deeper water next to the lily pads where I caught them before. Okay. Let's go over this way. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Okay. Got it. That's okay. I had to remember that just now. I was like, wait a minute. What? It was against what my geography in my head was saying. I'm like, wait a minute. How could New Zealand be above above Australia? It depends on if you're standing on your head or not. It's like in space. What is up? It's relevant. Like, what is the top of the world? Yeah, I'm in the college campus. This is the college campus. Obviously, they don't hold classes. Actually, they have a rowing team out of this college, but this lake is it's choked. I think you've seen before. It's choked with lily pads. So they can't be doing it out in this mess. So they go elsewhere to do their training. But every once in a while, you'll see them out when the lily pads are gone, rowing out in this lake. But their boat, or we'll call it a boat, is pretty dilapidated. I can see it right now over there next to the dock, and it's a mess. It's becoming part of the forest. Yeah. It's only well, I got I don't have the what you call it in the water right now, but I'm in about 3 feet of water. This is towards the deeper end of the lake. This I don't know if you can see that bridge right, where is it? Right here behind me, right there. See that cement bridge right there? That's a footbridge for the college students and a bike path. And that's a dam right on the bottom underneath that bridge there. There we go. And it's the deepest down there. It's like 4 feet, 4 or 5 feet. But down on that end of the lake, it's 12 inches and less. Okay, speaking of lily pads, I got myself in the lily pads all of a sudden. The wind kind of pushed me into them here. Hold on. Oh yeah, super shallow. But it's got about 3 feet of vegetation underneath. So there's water down there, but the water, the clear water, if you want to call it clear, the open water is only like 3 feet deep right here. But then there's 3 feet of bog at the bottom of this. So I'd be over my head, if I were standing in this right now. But the depth gauge, it only measures down to the. I'm actually don't know the technicalities behind how it measures, but it only measures down to the vegetation bottom, the top of the vegetation. Okay, let me, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what to do here, but I'm gonna relocate. What's going on here? Man-made lake. How cool. Well, this lake is considered, I guess you could call it man-made. It was here, though I wasn't alive. This was before my time. I'm not even from here, but according to the history, this is an old cranberry bog, where they grew cranberries. And I guess when they stopped using it as a cranberry, production, they flooded this area by damming up one end of it. And there's a natural stream that feeds it down there. That's the shallow end. Actually, I think there's two little rivulets that come in down there. And it flows through, and the stream goes through the forest down here at the dam, under the dam and after the dam. But they dammed it up, and that flooded this area into what you see today. But it only flooded it, to 2 feet deep. But the fish population is, well, obviously, that's why I keep coming back. It's very rare that I leave this lake without having caught something. It may not be what I'm looking for, but it happens. Matter of fact, just recently, I think I got shut out, skunked, as they say, but not often. Yeah, it's that's definitely a plus as you know, with fishing. Yeah. And I'm not just standing around, and they call it letting it soak, letting your bait soak, and just putting the pole down and watching the tip of your fishing rod. No, I'm actively, as you see, reeling it in, casting it, reeling it in, repositioning, relocating, trying to think of like, if I was a fish, where would I hide? And that's where I'm going. I'm always trying to, okay, where would that big monster bass be? I know they're here. I've caught them. So I hope I get one, and you guys can watch the battle here. It's always fun to catch those monsters. Oh, there's Buddy Morris. I was wondering, who are you calling Buddy? Like, hey, Buddy. I'm like, I'm here. I'm still here, Jay. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yep. Well, this was, as you know, Jay, this was, I started out with this stock kayak with nothing on it, pretty much bare bones paddle. It comes with a rudder and pedals, and that's all I. Hold on, I gotta. Oh, I'm all hung up in the lily pad. And then over the years, you learn, or you find out that you could use this when not on the water. So you start looking for that, or you inquire. With social media now, the do-it-yourself craze is everywhere. So you buy something new, you try it out, it either works or it doesn't work. Usually it doesn't work exactly the way you want it, so you end up trying to modify it, and if that still don't work, then you realize, okay, there must be something better, or you wonder, is there something better? And then you find it, and then you wonder, or you wish that you had known about that all along, so you didn't have to go through the failures, but that's the do-it-yourself. That's part of it. And I'm pretty much done with modifications and buying new stuff. It's just keeping up what I have. Now the kayak's starting to fail. The deck has cracked back here, and I actually welded that shut using plastic and metal mesh, and I didn't know what I was doing, but speaking of do-it-yourself, I finally figured out the most effective way, at least for the time being. So it's starting to show its years. It's 7 years old. The trailer, is because that's a peripheral part of this, as you may know, and those that own, anything. The more variables you have in the equation, the more you got to take care of, or the more you got to maintenance. And so the trailer is part of it. I got the right rear light needs replaced, which is just a take off the old one and put on the new one and splice the 3 wires, and it's done. But I have it sitting on my workbench. It's been raining the last 3 days in a row. So I finally got out and mowed the lawn yesterday. That was like 2 feet tall. And I only did half of the property. I got the backyard and the side yard still to do. But that doesn't grow as fast, so I started late yesterday afternoon, so the light ran out before I had time to do anything else. So I said, well, I'll do half of it, and I'll do the other half later. The trailer is the other, another, I got to put that light in. But the old one's working. It's just kind of clogged with debris and murk from backing it in backing it off the launch. It's just a dirt trail that goes into the water. It's supposed to be watertight, but it eventually, seeps and gets brown debris in the bottom. The compartment itself starts to fill up with debris, and you can't disassemble it and clean it out. It's all sealed, so it's one of those. When the light fails, you replace it. You replace the entire fixture. Oh, well, when I first tried, I just used any plastic I could find, and I found an old paddle. I used the paddle plastic, but it wasn't this paddle. It was an older paddle. It was black. So I cut up the plastic from the paddle. What kind of plastic is it made of? It's the poly, what is that? Like PVC. Help me out. What are the abbreviations for the plastic? PU, polyurethane, and there's other nomenclatures that they use for plastic. But I finally Googled it and said, what kind of plastic is this kayak? And they tell you, and like, oh, okay, that's what I need. So I bought a kit off Amazon that had that specific plastic in it. And I think the crack re-emerged. And so this time I did it what I feel to be a more correct job this time, with the wire mesh and the plastic over it, melting the wire mesh into the plastic. I forget the specific. Shivani, you're back. What's up, bro? Okay, let me concentrate here a little more. Yeah, they've got some nifty tools and hot irons, and they got staples, these metal Z-shaped staples that you can melt down into the crack, and mend the crack with with these Z-shaped staples. You literally just attach it to the iron and then just melt it right into the crack, so that the wire, mends it like a sewing machine. And then you can melt plastic over it or put wire mesh on top of that. And yeah, it's kind of a, if you don't know what you're doing like me, it's trial and error. Do they? I take it they have Amazon in. Where are you again? You're in Auckland. I know I've asked you that a gazillion times. Oh. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how far Amazon has, established itself. Oh, Amazon Australia. Gotcha. Yep. Okay. And then how do they get it to you? Do you use DHL, or do they fly it to Auckland, or do they ship it on boat? Speaking of international, shopping, I just bought some boots from Alpina, Alpina, from where is that? In Austria or Alpina? Maybe it's Germany, Switzerland, somewhere over there. And I had really no experience with, or very little experience with getting things, ordering from overseas, and how long it's going to take, and whether it was reliable, yada yada yada. And I got these boots within 4 days of ordering them in Europe. And I was like, whatever they're doing, whatever system they got, America needs to listen. It's like, not that American, shipping is, Amazon spoils the heck out of you, with 2-day shipping if you subscribe to it. But I mean, from Europe, the middle of Europe somewhere, it got to the American East Coast within 4 days. I followed it. I followed the shipping of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's in France now. And then the next day, it's en route. It's like, okay, it must be in the air. And by the third day, it was in New York City, and I'm 2 hours from New York City. And I was unbelievable. The next day, I had it on my doorstep. DHL, yeah, delivered it. Gotcha. Yeah, shipping is definitely cheaper. It just takes longer. Yeah, I was impressed. So I bookmarked their that company, and I'm in the market now to get some alpine or backcountry skis to marry up with these boots. That was the whole purpose of getting these boots. You know, I did that 1 day cross country ski trip at the end of the winter this year, and then I thought, okay, I need to be able to do this without renting, and it's a relatively cheap pursuit to get outfitted, you know, with something of your own, by either buying used. That's the goal. If you can find somebody, you know, reliable that has something that you're looking for, you know, you get it dirt cheap. But it looks like I'm going to be probably using that company again to get some skis to marry up with these boots. And once I get those, then I'll be able to be self-sufficient. I don't have to, you know, rent and all that. So. And I can go out on my own when I want, where I want. Yes. The answer is yes. Skiing and snowboarding and cross-country skiing. It's this terrain. You just see you're covered in forest. New Jersey is that's what you see in New Jersey. It's just trees, tree barrens and oak and pines. And this is where the United States began, was, you know, this part of the United States. Again, I'm a transplant from the other side of the United States, from California. But this is where, you know, everything began. And so they literally established human, you know, the ability to live in this stuff. It's pretty impressive when you think about it, you know, is how dense these forests are everywhere. That they've actually, you know, that people, before they had all the modern technology to clear, you know, land, that they actually survived in this stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm in the USA, Shivani. I'm on the East Coast near New York City, 2 hours from New York City. 2 hours north of me is the New York City JFK Airport, JFK International, and also the other one. What's it called again? JFK and, oh my gosh, here we go again. You tell me, somebody in the audience. What's the name of the other airport? We don't use it that much. Maybe that's why I don't remember. Oh, it's protection from the wind and the bugs and the sun. It's called a neck gaiter. Oh, and get this, JR. I purchased some high-end Oakley glasses when I was in the Philippines in September this past year. And so I bring them to the States. And just like a month ago, I was at the Starbucks that I'm, sometimes live streaming from. And I got my glasses, around my neck. And I think I had just arrived. So I put my backpack down. I was carrying my backpack. It was part of my workout, to carry an extra 25-pound backpack on my back and ski poles, as I got to the Starbucks. And I had to use the bathroom. So after I put my stuff down, I had all this on, I had my hat on, my neck gaiter, my glasses. I'm taking everything off and putting it on the counter and at the table or the bar stool that I was sitting at. And I had to use the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and my glasses were in the way still, whatever. And I took them off and I hung them on the door. There was a coat hook on the door. Well, I think you know what's coming. I forgot about my glasses. And when I went back and started eating, and I think I'm about to leave, I realized, oh my gosh, my glasses, I left them in the bathroom. I know right where I left them. And I go back in, and they're gone. So I'm hoping, okay, somebody turned them into the counter. Nope. So I lost my glasses. And I'm holding my tongue as far as mentioning how much I paid for them. But it was the same price, the same US dollar price in the Philippines. They were Oakley. Oakleys are Oakleys no matter where you buy them. And so that's why you don't see them on my face. Otherwise, I'd have them on. And I went back and I called them and they put it on their notes. They have a little laptop, they keep all their company notes on, and they told me, they got my phone number. I told them, if they ever get turned in, let me know, and no, to no avail. So whenever I go back to Starbucks, I'm always looking, they gotta come back. They've gotta come back. And maybe they'll be wearing them. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna approach them, if I see somebody with them. The only identifier is the keepers, the neck strap. I know what they were, and I know the symbol that was on them because I ordered them from Amazon. And that would be the only way to identify. Otherwise, I don't have my name engraved on them or anything like that. But there you go. Yep, in a pawn shop. Yeah, I even thought about going to a pawn shop and looking for them. Matter of fact, I was just, what was it? I think it was yesterday. I realized, why don't you go on eBay and just shop for that particular glass, that sunglass, and see what pops up and see what the location is. Am I going in a ship, Shivani? Well, I'm in a boat. I'm in a kayak, a plastic 14-foot two-person or tandem kayak. Okay, this is not working. This worm isn't working. And although I don't think the fish are ready to come out and play, their dinner time is usually around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Oh, it's 6:45. What am I saying? Holy moly. So it's past time. It's past dinner time for them. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, okay. So this is a swim bait. Naked swimmer, they call them. In the Toho color. Blue with the green swirled through it. See the green there? It's called Toho. I don't know what that means or where that name came from. T-O-H-O. or even if I'm pronouncing it. Okay, there we go. Let's see. That was a bait, Shivani. That's the lure, Lure, for the fish. You're in India, correct, Shivani? I think you were here last time. Well, this small bait will catch a relatively large fish, if I can find them. When in doubt, cast it right. All right, Shivani. No, I've never visited India. The closest I came was Kathmandu, Nepal, back in the 80s, 1986. I did a 2-week trip to Nepal from Bangkok, Thailand. I was married to a Thai woman back then, and I was vacationing in Thailand with her and my little boy, who is not little anymore. He's 40 years old. I took a 2-week side trip to Kathmandu and did some trekking in the hills of Nepal. Come on, GPS. Turn me around. Here we go. Oh, I look like I'm 30? Well, you can't see me. I'm all covered up. I'm 64 in August. 6'4". I became a daddy when I was young. I was 21. He'll be 42 in November, as a matter of fact. What part of India are you in, Shivani? There's got to be something down here, guys. I've got hope here. I shouldn't say hope. I've got a desire. I've got a wish. You know, did you hear my my class, my dissection and defining of the word hope ever, JR? Because now I just caught myself when I used the word hope. Because I am convinced that I've been using the word incorrectly, out of context, all my life. And so has everyone else. Otherwise, the more correct word to express how we use hope is wish or desire. I wish for a bike. I desire a bike, not I hope for a bike. Hope doesn't come with disappointment or anxiety. It's always accompanied with I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the definition, with a positive outcome. Always. So that proposes the question then, so how can you hope for anything? Because how do you know for sure that something is going to happen before you get it, before you receive it, or before it happens? And there is an answer, and there's only one hope. And when I read that, it made so much sense. I went, OMG. I get it. It makes total sense. Yeah, it's humbling. That's not even the word to describe it, but it is. It's humbling when you learn. There is something you can know for sure that you're going to receive 100% before you even receive it. It's the definition of hope. It's where the word came from. Of course, it wasn't in English, originally, but anyways, that's another preaching. Here, I in my head I was saying, don't go down that road, but I'm going to do it anyways. But it's maybe a different approach from how I explained it last time. But hope has a direct correlation with the truth, like the absolute truth. That is something that is for certain. Remember I said hope is referring to that which you know for sure, the outcome of something. That is also the truth. It's the truth. If there's no way the truth can be wrong, correct? Otherwise it would be false. So, if somebody claims to be the truth, then there's no possibility that that person could be wrong about anything he knows or it knows. Right? Why? Because he's the truth. He's the answer. He's the absolute. He is I am. He can lay claim to that 100%. Now I think you know where I'm going with this. Who this person is. There's only one truth. There can only be one truth. That's a mathematical statement. You see? So to say you have hope can only mean one thing. There's only hope in the truth. Why? Because there's no possibility he could be wrong about anything he knows. We can't lay claim to that. Because there is a possibility I could be wrong about everything I know. You see? There's no hope in me. Praise God. There's no hope in you. Why? Because you could be wrong. I'm almost getting emotional right now saying it. It makes so much sense that in the beginning, the truth created everything. There's no way the truth can be wrong about anything. Why? Because he created it. It makes so much sense. If, conditional, you believe in the beginning God created, then everything after it makes sense. It has to, or it's a lie. Think about it. That's not my brilliant thinking. That's common sense. If something is the answer, the absolute answer, it is the reason for something, it can't be wrong. I'm going to leave it at that. I've already talked about this, but it's so good. I just saw a different approach, and it's like, wait a minute. It's even easier than before. You can't argue that. You can't argue the truth. No. You can't hope to catch a fish. I wish I can catch one. I desire to catch one. You see? Because there's a possibility that I won't if I wish for something or I desire for something. Look it up. Look up Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary. Because I can't without interrupting the live stream. Type in Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary and then bring up the website and type in the word hope and read it yourself. We use the word hope in so incorrectly. We can't hope for something and not get it. Do you know? Now I asked Alexa about this, and she gave me two examples where in the Bible hope is used in the negative connotation, but the verses she's referring to, it's like a catch-22. It's like no, wait. For instance, a hypocrite's hope is, I forget the end of that verse. In other words, if you're a hypocrite and you're saying you hope for something, then it's like he's not using the word hope in the right context because you're a hypocrite. But in that sentence, the word hope is a negative, but that's not what I'm referring to. You know, there's not one place in the Bible where hope is used where somebody doesn't receive something. And why? Because it's referring to eternal life. All through the Bible, it's consistent from the very beginning, Genesis to Revelation. The word hope is referring to the truth. We don't use it that way. We use it the way I was brought up. Gosh, I hope I get it. Well, if you don't get it, then you can't hope for it. You can wish for it. You can desire it, but not hope. The definition of faith is the substance of things hoped for. So what is that substance? What can that substance only be then? What substance can you absolutely know for sure that you're going to receive? Scripturally, what is that substance? It's eternal life. If you believe. What's the end of the definition of faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's the evidence of God. If you believe in the evidence of God, you'll get the substance of things hoped for. You see? That's the definition of faith. Faith is based on the evidence. The evidence of what? The evidence of God. Why? Because he's the truth. He's the only thing that can't be wrong about anything he knows. So, therefore, what is the substance it's talking about? He's talking about eternal life. Not always. Your desire doesn't always come true. You may desire something, but you may not get it. Like you may desire a bicycle, when you were younger for Christmas or for the holiday, for your birthday. But you might not get it. There's only one hope. You see? It makes sense. There's only one hope. Hope in Christ. Why? Because he's the truth. He said, I am the way. That's quite a claim. To say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He either is telling the absolute 100% truth, or he's telling a lie. There's no in between. That's why there's only one hope. Hope in Christ. I'm going to repeat again. Why? Because he's the truth. There's no way that Christ could be wrong about anything he knows. That's called a self-refuting logical fallacy. If I say that I can be wrong about anything I know, then I could be wrong about saying what I just said. That self-refutes myself. So it literally puts a zipper on my mouth and throws the key away. I can't say anything. Why? Because I could be wrong about what I'm saying right now. Self-refuting logical fallacy. The only correct answer is, no, I can't be wrong about anything I know. But I can't say that. There's only one person that can. That's the truth. You see? It fits. Me too, dude. I grew up, I didn't know. My mom and dad didn't teach me this. My teachers didn't teach me this, for God's sakes. And the question is, why not? Why, pray tell, didn't we get taught this? It makes total sense. The answer is because they can't. Although they can. There is a way around that. You just can't mention certain things and certain words in public school. But you can propose the question to your students and explain to them what I'm explaining to them, to you right now, and then let them do their own, make their own conclusions. You could present it as a math problem in a math class. You could present it in a philosophy class. You could present it in a history class. And still not step over the bounds where you got next thing you know, you're answering to the principal because some student went home and said you're preaching religion in your classroom, and now you got to answer to that. No, there's a way to teach it without going there. But I was never taught that. I'm figuring it out on my own, JR. And it's rocking my world. It's been rocking my world for 17 years. Because I made the decision to understand, to try to understand. And it's available. Heck, I figured it out. Or it got presented to me. So if this feeble mind can grasp the concept, then I believe, anybody can do it. The bottom line is people either want to know or they don't. That's what's holding people back from pursuing it, because they don't want to. It's not it's not the right timing for them yet. And I'm talking about myself as well. I remember saying that. Nah, I don't want to. It's going to interrupt my lifestyle. I'm not ready for that. And how wrong I was. But that's all part of it. You just don't, we have these preconceived notions as to, what new information is going to do for us or do to us in this case. And God forbid something happens to you before you make the decision to finally pursue it. And you end up leaving this world and not knowing. Because according to the truth, our soul is going to live on in one of two places. This is coming from the truth. This ain't me. Remember I said, if you make the decision to believe that in the beginning God created, then everything after it, everything after it is true. Including, there is a place called a heaven and there is a place called hell. Heaven's another chance to do this again. Another chance to live again like we are right now. But this time forever. I don't have any idea what that's going to be like. But that's the offer. You want an opportunity to do this again, Gary? Because if you don't take that opportunity, you're going to end up in a place that you deserve. And I thought, no, I don't want to, if there's a possibility that place is true, then I don't want any part of it. I don't want to go there. What do I got to do? That was when I was 15 years old and some 50-year-old man presented this to me, that question to me. And I said, let's do it, So he shared with me what the truth said. And I made the decision to believe. Now, what I know now, I didn't pursue when I was 15. That didn't come until I was 40, 2007. 45. Where I finally started studying the truth, the Word. And all this that I'm sharing with you now came to me. And I started studying it, studying other scientists' outcomes and journals and papers on all the branches of science. From in the beginning God created worldview. Scientists that were believers, that did their studies with in the beginning God created as their foundation. And the outcomes were overwhelming, mind-blowing, jaw-dropping. And I was sold. I just said, you know what, this is going to be part of my life from until I die. Do I still struggle? Yeah, very much so. JR, I haven't got anything reaction. I've been shut out so far. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's prison ministries everywhere. Matter of fact, the program that fed me, that I'm talking about right now, Reformers Unanimous, they've got a Reformers Unanimous prison ministry. They bring the program into the prison. Got a matter of fact, the church I attend, the one of the members of the program that I just mentioned, Reformers Unanimous, is the I don't know if you call him the director or the guy that brings the program into the prison. Yep. It's a I don't know if it's in New Zealand, probably not, but it is international in different countries. But that program became my Friday night something to do, instead of where I used to spend my Friday nights. And it became, it was a replacement, on Friday nights at 7 p.m. to go and spend 2 hours, at this program and just be fed jaw-dropping, information. And it's proactive. You got assignments you got to do. There's a curriculum involved, so you end up buying books like one at a time. As you finish one, then you got to get another one in order to continue the program. And if you don't have any money, usually they'll either loan it to you until you can pay for it, or somebody else usually comes forward and ends up paying it for you if you don't, truly don't have the money. And it's a non-profit organization, so it's not like anybody's making any money. It's just whatever the book costs to print is what they're wanting in return. And so you got assignments to do, so you bring it home with you, and it just becomes something to do. It occupies your time instead of what used to occupy your time, fill in the blank. And all of us, have something, that occupies our time other than the truth. And so the program's for everybody. It's for sinners. Do you know any? That's exactly what the program is for. It's for sinners. Do you know any? Duh. In other words, it's for everybody. Yeah, I'd be curious to know. It's not just that, Jay. A higher level of peace. It's more than that. It's called joy. Joy isn't happiness. Joy is a peaceful, calm delight in all of life's circumstances. Let's see. A peaceful, Joy is there's a definition in the program. That's one of the assignments, as a matter of fact. A cheerful, calm delight and rejoicing in all of life's circumstances. Did you hear that? So not only circumstances that are, enjoyable, but you can experience a cheerful, calm delight even in unfortunate circumstances, sad circumstances, funerals. I just flew to the Philippines, Jay, in September to go bury my wife's brother. He was 42. Unexpected, right? But I can find a cheerful, calm delight and rejoicing in his death. And it's like contradictory. It's like, what? Oh no, I can now. because I don't know if her brother, was introduced to, Jesus Christ before he died, the truth, the way, the truth, the life. I don't know if he was, but maybe he was. Maybe he knew about it and I just didn't know, because I live here and he lives in the Philippines. Who knows who he was, his life, what his life consisted of as far as people, and who spoke to him and so on and so forth. But just knowing just a little bit that he may have gives me a cheerful, calm delight. That I just might be able to spend another lifetime with him again. There's a chance, as small as it is, if he chose to believe before he took his last breath. And I didn't know any of this. I didn't even know the definition of joy. I thought I did. But in the program, you learn to dissect and define words and verses. It's part of your assignment. One of the techniques they use to get you to understand your assignment is to dissect and define it using the Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary. That's why I keep bringing that back up. It's one of the most known to be one of the most scripturally referenced dictionaries ever written, where it uses the truth, the Bible, to define the words. Imagine that an author used the truth to help him define the words that he was writing a book about. Imagine that. Where else would you look? Wouldn't you want to look at something that can't be wrong about anything it knows in order to find the definition of something? You would be able to find the answer, wouldn't you? Well, you say religion, even that word, I've learned contrary now. People say, oh, what religion are you? I'm not. I believe in the truth. I believe that in the beginning, God created. Why? Because it makes the most sense. Overwhelmingly convincing. Religion is man's way of trying to do good enough to please him. Good luck with that. Here's an example. Here's I'm going to explain that. So we all have definitions of what is good, right? Like doing good for somebody else, right? So let's say, Jay, I knew you needed a new car, okay? And I just happened to have the means to buy you a new car, right? So I bought you a new car, and you're just like elated, unbelievable. You're going to give me this car? It's like, yeah, I just happened to be able to do it. Oh, thank you so much, Doc. Right? And then while you and I are going to the dealer so you can sign the papers, to make it officially yours, you have a heart attack. And I'm painting a real scenario. It happens. And you take your last breath. What good did that car do for you? Think about it. As a matter of fact, if you look at it, it's almost like I contributed to your death. Because as soon as I bought you the car, you keeled over and died. So, what good was that car for you? Answer that. Answer the question. I'm putting you on the spot on purpose. What good did that car do for you? I can answer it for you. It didn't. It didn't do you any good. You died. And that's my point. You're going to die no matter what I do for you. So back to people doing good. Doing good for what? To prevent your death? Show me. Show me. Show me how I'm going to be. I'm talking to myself. How am I going to be able to prevent my death? Death considered bad, right? So all this good that people are doing for me, what good is it? I'm going to die still. Oh, but it was good for him while he was alive. How do you know that? You going to ask him? He's dead. Morning, Gab. Mary Beth. Speaking of the Philippines just entered the room. You see what I'm saying? So back to religion. Religion is people trying to do good to please him. What do you think's killing you? What do you think's killing me? Well, according to the truth, it's sin. Sin is why we're dying. For the wages of sin is what? Death. It's because of sin that we're dying, that we're suffering, that we have disease, that I'm getting older. It's because of sin. So we've got to be able to overcome sin. How are we going to overcome sin? How are we going to overcome death? We can't. But one person did. And he did it for you and me. Why? Because we can't do it. We can't do what he did. We can't resurrect from our grave. He did. He said, believe in me now that I've done it, and I'll give you another opportunity to live again, JR. That's all he's asking. He's asking you to return unto him. Let the wicked forsake his way, the unrighteous man his thoughts. That's you and me, unrighteous men. And do what? Let him return unto the Lord. And he will do what? Have mercy on you. He'll give you another opportunity to do this again. He'll give you what you don't deserve. What you deserve is death. That's what we're getting. We're getting what we deserve. We're dying. He overcame the world. He did the supernatural. He did what he couldn't do. All he's asking you to do is to believe in him. And you can have hope. You see? It's the only hope. There's only one hope. Hope in Christ. So good. So good. I want to do this again. However it's going to unfold, I don't know. I have no idea what life's going to be like without death or dying. Never lived it. Never experienced it. But you know what? I'll take that chance. Actually, it's not a chance. I'll take that promise. Let me have a part of that. That's what I decided when I was 15, when the man explained it to me. I said, sounds like something I need to take care of. So I did. Good stuff, Maynard, as they say. Hoorah, JR. Oh, wow. At least you remember. That's good stuff. Easy to remember, right? Creation.com. I'm telling you, honestly, don't be afraid of it. Any big questions that you have, just simple, as a matter of fact type, inquiries that you have about anything, related to the subject. Type it in their search bar and see what article pops up. The article's written by scientists in all the fields of science: geology, biology, medicine, paleontology, astronomy. I'm missing all the rest. They're scientists. See what their answer is, to these big questions you might have, or simple question. What about this? What about that? Why this? Why that? Honestly, that's what I did. Oh. Come on. Something hit this thing. Give me some excitement. It's dragging on something at the bottom. It's kind of giving that bump feeling. Kind of get me excited. All right. Doesn't it make sense though? I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying is just going right over your head. I'm surprised speaking of atheists, I'm surprised I haven't got more Muslims and or atheists in the room wanting to debate me. Mary Beth, are you awake? My gosh, you're up early. Yeah, well, it's 7:30 over there in the Philippines. I just happen to know her name, so I'm calling her by her name. Gabrielle is the name of her son or her daughter. One of the two. Yeah, it was people like, hold on, give me 1 second to read that last post there of yours. It was people like Gabrielle there that popped in a moment ago from the Philippines that got me started in this live stream slash, getting monetized and all that. She has a live stream. And I would, I would pop into a channel like hers, and she would make me a moderator, and then, I would go through the drill that I already told you. Clicking on other people's links and subscribing to them, and they would reciprocate and subscribe back, and so on and so forth. So the whole room was filled with Filipinos, usually texting in their dialect, so I didn't understand anything they were saying. Although they do speak English, so, it was like a combination of both, but mostly Tagalog. And so I finally realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm starting to see this same word over and over. What is that word? So I asked them, and it's like, oh, you guys are talking about this. And then I thought, okay, well then next time I see that word, I'll know what it means. And that's how it started. And I started seeing a pattern of words. And then once I knew the meaning of it, I kind of got the gist of, what they were, what somebody was saying. Or at least what they were referring to. Oh, Sorry. I did pray for one of the first times a few weeks ago, although I felt bad as it was during a moment when I was asking for something. I nearly blinded myself with a stick poking me in the eye. What? Tell me again. What were you doing? Were you just walking? Was it in the house or outside? Walking into a stick. It's not funny, but after the fact, it is. What? Okay, there's got to be a fish. There's got to be some bass hanging out at the edges of these lily pads. Come on. Come on. There's nothing down here. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong or what bait are they looking for? Worms aren't working. Not down here in the deep water. Nothing's... They're hiding. They're hiding in the brush at the bottom, it seems like. Because there's another area that I fish that is really shallow. But the bottom is nothing but grass and a lot of thick boggy material. And they tend to populate that area over there. It's very active. I'm looking at that area over there right now. I'm tempted to go over there. But down here in the deep water, they're just not... What am I doing wrong? Let's see. You have one working eye and I poked it. Everything I saw was either blurry or I could see 6 of the item. Really, that's how vulnerable my sight is. I was asking for a second chance. You say you only have one eye? Oh, pruning a tree. Okay. So tell me your story. Well, this is good. I didn't know this about you. Because I can't see you. So, speaking of, the little pun there. I can't see you. But okay. Yeah, tell me your story. So what happened? What happened to your other eye? I was in the medical business, so I'm interested in this kind of stuff. Oh. And that was it? I mean, did you ever get a diagnosis of what caused it? Christian healers visit. Surgery failed. They said I was not worthy and the healing didn't work. Oh my gosh, sounds like you got involved in some quack. Some elixir doctor. Yeah, well, there's no Christian healers. Not that I know of. They might claim they are, but that's about it. Sounds like some New Zealand wizardry there. Ah, I gotcha. Supposedly healing, right? You know, don't take my word for that. I don't know anything about really, healers, healing in the Christian circles. But yeah, just leave it at that. I don't know anything about it, so I can't comment. Do miracles still happen? Why not? Sounds good to me, right? That isn't the focus. You know what? That's kind of that would be my response is, you know, what I just presented with you, to me, is what people need to hear. Because again, you know, if something happens to you tomorrow, something happens to me, you know, I want to know for sure that I'm going to be okay after I take my last breath. 100% certain that I'm going to be good to go. And I've got that assurance. So that's what's important. Today is the day of salvation. You know, that's scripture. It's there for a reason. Because it is. Today, right now. Right now. You know, if you drop to your knees today or tonight or whenever, you know, and just said, you know what, God, I'm done. I'm done trying to figure all this out. But I'm going to just commit and myself to you and believe that in the beginning you did create. And that everything after that is true. In Jesus' name, amen. That's all he's asking you to do. How simple that is. And if you truly ask that, and it's coming from the deepest part of you, then you'll change. You'll start pursuing more answers. You'll go to that website and you'll start popping in questions. You'll take it upon yourself to do your own study, to get started and start finding out the answers that you've always wondered about. That's what happened to me in 2007. You know, this was 30 years after I made the decision to believe when I was 15. But as far as like actually delving into it and studying in it, praise God that he kept me alive until I was 42. And then I started going to that website. I started asking questions. I got involved in that program. I shouldn't say that website. I didn't find out about creation.com until many years after. But 2007, I started that program where I was physically going to a program on Friday night at 7 p.m. And that was the beginning of my study. That's what the program is. It's a study. It's a Bible study. It's what it is. It's got a curriculum involved in how to study. And it's actually quite fun. It's like you're in a classroom. You are. But as far as the assignments, that's on your own time. It's up to you. You want the program to work? Well, you got to work the program. So anyways, really, it's all it takes. You know what? I'm done. That's what I remember saying. You know, I'm done trying to figure this out. Doesn't that make sense, though? Okay, let me read. Says the same thing? Yeah. You know, that question is probably one of the most common questions. It's true. You know, that's why they have evangelists traveling the world, sharing the truth, so that people can hear, maybe for the very first time. You know, for example, what I shared earlier. the Word of God itself, without me trying to answer your question with my own stinking thinking, as we call it in this program, I'm going to paraphrase the verse, but there's many places in the Bible that talks about we're, in a nutshell, we are without excuse to deny that there's a God. We're without excuse. It's so obvious. Creation screams. This earth, this universe screams creation. So to say that you don't believe, we're without excuse. But furthermore, if you as being one of these people who aren't necessarily Christian, but live a good, honest, and caring life, would you go to heaven? Well, if you're standing your ground saying, I don't believe, or I'm not ready yet, aren't you still without excuse? You see what I mean? So why not make the decision to say, okay, I'm going to go to creation.com today. I'm going to drop to my knees tonight, cry out to God, and tell him, you know what? I'm done trying to figure this out. Help me out. And you commit yourself to try to study from this point on. He promises you. He said, for God so loved the world that he did what? He gave his only begotten Son. He's referring to Jesus Christ. That whosoever, that means anyone, believeth in him, his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, whosoever believeth in him should not perish. Perish where? In an eternal hell, lake of fire, fire and brimstone, whatever other adjectives the Bible uses to describe the place that we deserve as sinners. Are you a sinner? I can ask you one question. Are you going to die? Of course you are. That's what's killing us. Remember I said earlier? Sin's what's killing us. So you want me to prove you're a sinner? Are you going to die? Am I? Am I a sinner? Duh. See? So anyway, so to do good, like I said, to buy a car for your fellow, and then I have a heart attack. I'm the one that bought you the car, right? Well, what if I died and I wasn't ready yet to believe. But I decided to do good, and I bought you a car, and then I had a heart attack. You know what the truth says about that? It says, depart from me, ye that work iniquity, wrongdoing, for I never knew you. That's God's word himself saying to you. He has no choice. As a judge, as the ultimate judge, as a true judge, the one that can't be wrong about anything he knows, he has to give you what you deserve. Otherwise, he's not a just judge or a just God. So what do you deserve when you died not believing? That wasn't his choice. It was yours. You're the one that made the decision not to. Oh, it's not time yet. I'm not ready yet. Whose choice was that? Yours or his? It's yours. So he has to give you what you deserve. Or he's not a just judge. He's not a true judge. You see? King James Bible. Guy knows what he's talking about. Hoorah! Check number 1, KJV. Someone he was asked to pass on, someone he thinks would look after it after he learned from it. My friend who teaches in prison recently gave me a King James Bible, saying he was given it by someone, and he asked to pass it on to someone he thinks would look after it and learn from it. Ooh, wow. Brother, you've got the key in your hand right there. Remember that Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary? Do you know what Bible Noah Webster uses or used? He's dead now. When did he die? 1850 or 1848, something. That's what that dictionary. That dictionary is probably the dictionary that you and I used growing up, or at least referenced. Good old Noah Webster, if it was in English, if your school was in English. I'm assuming it was. It's probably Noah Webster. Well, Noah Webster, the most scripturally referenced dictionary. But you know what? I'll bet you the Noah Webster that you and I used didn't have scripture in it anymore. Why? Because it was removed. It was removed by the Merriam brothers. And now it's called the Merriam-Webster. Imagine that. I'm telling you, it gets good, JR. It gets deep. Awesome. Oh, bro. You actually got to see a Christian wedding. I've been to, I think, 2 now in my entire life. All the other weddings that I've attended didn't even compare. Didn't even compare. I didn't even know really what a true wedding meant. What was behind all of that imagery and union between a male and a female. Did you hear me? Did you hear that? A male and a female? Yeah. Anyway, totally different subject. Anyway, until I went to a Christian wedding. And I was in tears flowing off my chin, watching this. Profound. I realized, OMG, this is a wedding. How are you? Wait. Back up. Hold on. I'm going to read it, okay? It's okay because this hits on something I've already covered before, but it's perfect. Exactly what you said. I think my main concern or main hesitation with religion is just worry that because life's so short, if I spend it following something that may or may not be true, I may feel like I had missed out on time. I think I know what you're saying. Or things. Missed out on time or, things, right? Well, hold on a second, JR. You're dead. How do you know if you missed out on something? You're dead. This is after the fact. That if you did this, that's okay. That if you did that you would miss out on something. Well, the only time to reflect back is if you're still alive, right? But you mean while you're still alive, if you committed to something such as studying the Word of God or finding out the truth, let's put it more clear, that you're missing out on something while you're still alive. Okay, I think that's what you're... Yeah. Okay. Because a lot of people, say, what do? They say it in hindsight. If I had, or they talk about somebody else. They say, "Oh, he died doing what he loved." It's like, how do you know? He's dead. Can you ask him? It's like, hey. But the scary part is, what if you're aware after you take your last breath and your soul lives on forever in a place that you never wished you were a part of? And I think you know what I'm referring to. See, that's the what if. What if, now if you did commit to knowing the truth, I'll tell you with confidence that you will be overwhelmingly convinced that the decision you made was the right one. Why? Because it can't be wrong about anything it knows. It all fits. It all comes together. The more you push it, the more you test it, the more you try to prove it wrong, the more it'll reveal itself. That's the answer to, well, how will I know if it's the truth? Keep testing it. Push it. Push it hard. You're not the first one to do that. If you make that decision. Hoorah, JR. That's why I do it. It's good. It feels so good to me to share it, number one. And the fact that somebody's listening, wow, icing on the cake, man. I'm telling you. The opportunities of somebody actually listening, to me, is far and few between. They want to argue. They want to get upset. They want to slam the door in your face. But you know what? Remember I said earlier, joy? I can find joy in that. Although I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt, or if it's not disappointing, or that I don't get angry sometimes. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I know now how I can get joy out of that. How I can find joy when somebody slams the door in my face. I can say, praise God that person just rejected me. Why? Because he was first rejected. The verse is, I love him because he first loved me. The word love is substituted with suffer. I suffer for him. Why? Because he first suffered for me. I know what he went through to give me the opportunity to have what I have. Praise God that he did that. So when somebody slams the door in my face, I get that image in my head of Christ being nailed on the cross. You see? He wins all wars, JR. God wins all wars. He won the ultimate war by sacrificing himself. Little did people know that was the temple that he was referring to, that he was going to build again. 3 days later, what happened? He resurrected. That temple was built again. They didn't have a clue. They just didn't get it. His own disciples. even didn't understand. Peter, Thomas, they just didn't get it. At least not at that point they didn't. Man, I hope this helps me heal, JR, if you only knew. Remember I said, do I suffer still? And I'm going through, an old demon has resurfaced, and I'm struggling big time with it right now. So if you want to pray for somebody, pray for me. By name. Pray for Gary. And I always, one of my prayers is that I can live one day without that that haunt, and that my focus can be entirely on His Word, where I can get my joy entirely from His Word and not be distracted, by anything else. If only I could live that way. But yeah. But I know it ain't going to happen. But I need to do it for His sake. That the suffering that I encounter is because I'm sharing His Word, and I'm getting rejected, and or I'm being denied, or I'm being, the door slammed in my face. Instead of me resorting to, prior addictions or strongholds or habits, that I used to indulge in to stay satisfied. Well, it sure is pretty, but I ain't catching a thing. This is... Amen. Yeah, he's still there. He disappeared, JR. He cut me off. He doesn't respond anymore to anything. No more emails, no more texts, no more phone calls. Yep. But I still pray for him. There's hope. I shouldn't use the word hope. You see what I mean? It's like, it seems right to say I hope for something like that, but I don't know for sure. I could be wrong, but the conclusion I've come to with that word is so good that I just can't. I can't stop talking about it. It's perfect. It fits. It's consistent with Scripture. It's consistent with the truth. That it can't be wrong about anything it knows. So if that's the case, then I'm going to stick with it until further notice. Yes, yeah. I have a youngest son. I got remarried, and I have the child that we had was a boy. So I ended up having another son. He just turned 21. He's half my eldest son's age. Literally. I was 21 when I had my first son, and now my youngest son is 21. So my eldest is 21 years older than his brother. Brother from another mother. There, that's the correct usage. He's literally a brother from another mother. A brother from another mother. All right, that was a lousy cat. And I have a daughter, the sister of my eldest boy. She's 4 years younger. She's 37. She's the one that made me a grandfather. She's got 2 kids, 8-year-old and a 13-year-old. 8-year-old girl, 13-year-old boy. You know where they are right now? They're in the Bahamas on vacation. I was talking to her last night, and all of a sudden, I didn't know she was in the Bahamas, and all of a sudden I said something. She goes, "Yeah, we're in the Bahamas right now," and I'm like, "What? Must be nice." It's like nothing to them now. They're full of money. They're always somewhere. "Oh yeah, we're in the Bahamas." She says, "Dad, it's only like 1 hour flight from us." I went, "Oh yeah, I guess that's, if that makes any difference." They're in Florida, down there next to the Bahama, what do you call it? Islands down there. Oh, you are? Boy, it's rumbling on Vanuatu. I subscribe to an earthquake report, a world, earthquake alert website, and anything over 6.0, I have it set, to get notifications for anything over 6.0. And Vanuatu is probably the number one place that is rocking. Papua New Guinea, PNG. Yeah. Matter of fact, one of my pastors in San Diego, California, his daughter did a mission there to Papua New Guinea. She was actually my youngest son's teacher at that program that I talked about, that Reformers Unanimous International program. They had a kids program. I think I've mentioned this before in the past. So when he turned 4, he started that program, getting involved in that program. It was a family affair. My wife and I attended the adult program, and my son was in the kids program. And one of the teachers for the kids program was the pastor's daughter. And she had just arrived at that time, back in 2007, 8 through 2010. She had returned from a mission in Papua New Guinea. Yeah, it gives tsunami reports, earthquake reports. They kind of go hand in hand depending on where they are. So I'm always looking to see who's rocking. Philippines, all over the world. That ring of fire around the world is always, rumbling somewhere. Another big one is down in South America, in Argentina, on the west coast of South America. Man, they get some nasty, big 7.0 and bigger earthquakes. And then Japan and California and Alaska and all the way across near Russia, Philippines, New Zealand. Doesn't New Zealand get, I think they've got some volcanoes there in New Zealand, right? Yeah, what's the website? It's oh, you can look it up. It's USGS or some, I don't know. I forget the. Well, you know what? If I'm going to catch anything, I'm going to need to like go over where I know I'm going to catch something because I'm getting shut out and it's nighttime. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can tell. It's sun's starting to. Oh, Hawaii. Hawaii's always rumbling. Well, you know what? It's getting so that time now. It's past 8 o'clock. That I don't know if I want to venture over there. By the time I get over there, it'll be near 8:30 and be dark. There's usually some significant bass hitting over here in this deep area, right along the lily pad field, the lily pad line, and nothing is striking along the lily pads, which is so unusual. You know what? I'm gonna head down that direction and then make a decision once I'm down there. I see another kayaker. I didn't see him launch. Wonder where he launched from. Probably the same place I did, but I didn't see him. I think he's got one of those foldable, or maybe it's an inflatable. I think there's one guy that runs a inflatable kayak. 9.0 in the next 28. Oh my gosh. Not another Japan disaster. That was wild. What was that, 2011? Oh my gosh. So do I head over there and start slaying some bass right in front of this guy? I wonder what his, or how he did. Uh-oh, he's moving. Oh no, he sees me moving. He's moving. You know, it's very typical. People see other kayaks moving and they think, uh-oh, he's coming up on my spot. I better move to another area so he doesn't take that. That's what he's doing. He's moving. But no, actually, he's kind of moving away from me. Okay, never mind. So much for that theory. But I've even done it. It's like I lay claim to an area, and if somebody starts moving in my direction, it's like, okay, I gotta cover as much as I can. Yeah, you see, I can't motor all the way across this because of the lily pad. So I gotta paddle my tank across the lily pad ocean here. I call it an ocean of lily pads. It is. It's the whole lake. As far as I can see right now, there's a lily pad. There's an open section over here though. So I'm gonna, as soon as I break through this stuff, then I'll be able to. Oh, and yes, I'm holding my paddle backwards. If you're noticing, oh, you probably can't see. No, you can't. But the blades are inverted because I found that they glide through these lily pad stems. They deflect off the paddles better than if I turn it the way the paddle's supposed to be. It doesn't give me as good of a pull, but it glides through the lily pads. It doesn't get hung up as much. Okay, I'm almost in open water here, or at least more open where I can start the motor. Hold on. Now, if I had a gas motor, I could just tear right through these lily pads, but it's actually not allowed here on this lake. It would be kind of futile to have a motor. It would be a mess. You would be so gummed up with vegetation, it would be a nightmare. Okay, so electric. I need to get a higher torque. I've always known this, but I just never did anything about it. I need to get a motor that has a higher torque so that it can get through this vegetation without getting bogged down so much. Okay, here we go. Watch this. I'll bet you within the first 2 casts, I'll end up with a bite. This place is always on fire. It works. You should see the the high-speed kayaks that come out already good to go, ready to roll with all the high-speed bells and whistles. I mean, it puts mine, it's like a Volkswagen compared to a Porsche. But what I have on here works. I mean, it definitely works. And I've been doing it and using it long enough to work out the bugs, so everything's pretty maintenance free as far as getting hung up or something binding, and not smoothly turning and working and having to go forward and fix it. So far everything is, like I said, I think I'm pretty much done with doing anything else to it. And if I ever get another one, I was just talking about this. If I ever get another one, I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do? Should I just get another one of these? It's the cheaper way. This has absolutely really nothing on it when you buy it. It's just a bare kayak with paddles, and you have to modify it. Or do I spend the extra money to get a kayak that is already molded with all the different tracks and slides and mounts, and everything's made for fishing, and you don't really have to do anything, and then all you got to do is all I'd have to do is like transfer over what I have. That's what I was going through in my head, is how would I do it? And I think the outcome is, if I do get a higher speed kayak, not physical speed, but just a more advanced modern, have the trolling motor in particular. It's got a smart GPS head on it, and they've got kayaks now that come with that technology, and it's all molded and perfectly designed, where mine, I had to MacGyver this setup together with my old car parts and hardware, and bending things with pliers and vices and so on and so forth, drills, and I made it work. Well, they've got kayaks that are they come like, they're just ready, and they're all molded and everything's designed. I wouldn't need to do that. I don't want to do that, because what would I do with this equipment that I already have? It would be silly to retire it and get into something that I'm already enjoying. So I would just have to buy a kayak that I need a pedal, like I have. I want a pedal in case I need one, and I want a motor, so I can rely on both of them, or have both of them, or bring one and not the other. Like right now, I left my pedals back in the car because this place is a nightmare with pedals. Okay, I got to be able to catch something here before I can't see anything. Stand by. So where would I mount the motor? And the answer is on the bow. Right now I've got it in the pedal slot. Well, that's because I have a tandem pedal. Well, I don't know if I would necessarily buy another tandem. I would just buy a single seat and then put the motor on the bow. And all I would need to do is figure out how to make a mount, or I was looking for mounts specifically for specific kayaks, and they do make them third party, where they, have use a 3D printer to print out a specific mount that fits on the specific kayak that you have, and then mount the motor onto that. And that would be on the bow of the kayak. And my pedals would be right here in front of me. Oh, there we go. Something hit that super hard. That was a pickerel. I'm telling you, we're gonna catch one before I go. Hold on. Man, that was a hard hit. That was a pickerel hit. That was teeth. That wasn't a bass. I'm surprised half of that bait isn't missing. Hold on. Come on. See it again. Come back. I got to do the 5-minute rule. If a fish hits your lure, it usually takes off if it doesn't, get hooked. So the amount of time it takes for him to settle down and come back to where he was is 5 minutes. My favorite fishing knot. Well, the ones that work for the application, but the most common one I use is the one that it's the universal knot that that ties the leader onto the hook. The one where you wrap it around 7 times and you put it through the eye, the original eye, and then you back it through the eye again as a backup. That's the most commonly used one. And then the other one I use is the one that ties the leader onto my braided line, the monofilament to the braided line. And that actually, I don't know what the name of that knot is. You end up basically doing 10 wraps with the braided line around both the leader and the braid, and then you do the same thing with the mono. You tie it around both 10 times, and you slip the 2 knots together. In climbing we called that a double half hitch, but it's more than a half hitch. You're doing like 10 hitches. You're wrapping it around 10 times, and then you go through the eye at the beginning, and then you cinch it all together. Maybe you'll be able to tell me what knot that is. But you're basically taking 2 knots and sliding. A prusik knot is very similar. You're taking 2 ends, creating knots with those 2. You got 2 working ends. You're working with one end and you're working with the other end, and then once you form the knot, you slide the 2 knots together, and the knots butt up against each other, and that's what holds the 2 lines together. It's tying 2 lines of separate diameters together. That's typically what we use in rock climbing. When you're rappelling off of something, you're tying 2 ropes together so that you can rappel 200 meters at a time instead of 100 meters. There's other applications where you're using 2 half hitches and sliding them together. But fishing isn't too much different. They just have different names, and usually more wraps because the lines are a lot less diameter than a climbing rope. The other knot, what is the knot? I don't even know the name of it, where you're tying a crankbait or a jerkbait, a plastic swim bait onto your leader. Instead of tying the universal knot, you're taking a loop and putting it through the eye, and then you take you make a knot with the loop, and then you take that loop and slip it over the entire bait, and then you cinch everything together, specifically for tying a plastic crankbait or jerkbait. That one is the third one. I think that's about it. That's about the three that I use the most. In rock climbing, it's the double figure eight, a bowline on a coil, or a, what other knot do you use? Like I said, a double half hitch. There's a Munter hitch. All kinds of fun knots in rock climbing. And then sailing. I got into boating and sailing with a friend, and you know what? It's all reciprocal. It crosses over. You know, rock climbing, sailing, even the gear for rock climbing and fishing, even skiing. You know, I use the same layering system, the same mindset that I used in mountaineering and rock climbing. You know, when I'm out in the snow, it's the same difference, same concept. Jumping tomatoes. I can use figure eight from the kink baits. I'm aware of the one you're mentioning to me, mono braid. Yeah, what's that name of that? Barrel swivels and do the same Diego jam. Yeah, right. Yeah, I recently tried to. I'd done it before, but I tried it again. I watched some YouTube channel, and I forget the name of it. Again, the names I don't know. But I kind of went round and round with it, and of course it wasn't coming out like as easy as the video was making it look. And I thought it would. I got the concept after watching it a number of times, and I was like, oh, okay, I see that. I could do that. I go out in the garage and I get two lines, and I'm like, okay, this isn't as smooth as that guy was making it look like. So I gave up. It was to tie the leader onto the braid, the mono or mono and or the other onto a braid. All right, well that was a huge hit. How come he's not hitting again? Hold on. I gotta catch one. Come on, one for the camera before I call it quit. Here we go. This is gonna be a good one. All right, time to turn the Christmas lights on. One, and the bell light. Okay. Come on, how about a bass? Come on, I'm in open water now. Between lily pads. There's another lily pad. Come on. Up and over the lily pads. Let it sink. Nothing. Okay. Man, that thing was hard. I gotta find him again. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, Palomar knot. Yep. You know, that's my hometown. I used to go to Palomar Mountain all the time. Or frequently, I should say. All right. Let me stand up. All right. You know, if I got that tremendous bite a moment ago, then you know they're here. Just a matter of hitting him on the head again with the bait and letting him chow down on it. Come on. Give me something. Oh, hold on. Let me get through this lily pad little section here. Zigzag my way through it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Hold on. Hey, JR, are you still there? Oh, that ain't gonna produce anything. Come on, prove me wrong. Yeah, you're still there. Um, how old are you again? I'm thinking in your 40s. I think I remember you telling me. Right? Oh, 32. I'm sorry. I thought you were in your 40s. I was thinking like 42, like my son's age or something. Oh, you're still a young buck. You're half my age. Oh, and 32. I'm sorry. I thought that was fortunately. Hey, it ain't too bad being my age, you know. I know. Wait till you hit 40. I think I mentioned in the past, I know I have, I just don't know if you've heard it before, but is 30 when I turned 35, something changed in my outlook on. Hold on, that's a fish. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on. He's on. I didn't let go. I didn't swing. Damn it. Oh, dude, come on, come on. He had it. He had it. He was taking the end of my pole, and I was talking, and I thought, I'm just gonna let him take it a little more. And what'd he do? He let go. Gosh, Gary. Ah, oh my God. No. He actually had it, and I was gonna swing, and I was talking, and I had to finish my thought process. Ah, gosh darn it. Come on, there's fish over here. I told you, there's life over in these parts. Dang it. Come on. Come on, come back. You ain't getting away a third time. I'm going to be ready, I hope. Hold on. Damn it. That other guy's probably listening to me. He's nearby, or he was. There he is, right back there. Hold on. Dang it. Darn it, Jim. What are you doing? Five more minutes. I know. No. One more cast. One more cast. No, I got to catch something. This is too close. This is too close to say, because I could get shut out. Come on. Come on. Nothing. This doesn't happen that often. Come on. It's a little late, but I have a feeling. Darn it. Come on now. Come on. How did I reposition a little further away? I'm getting frustrated. I'm shifting the blame. Okay, the hook is dead. Come on, right here, right here. I'm right on the edge. Come on. Something's gonna sneak at it right here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on. It's hitting lots of debris underneath. That's a good thing. I'm kind of hesitating, dragging it through the weeds, stopping, letting it sink. Come on. Now I'm in open water again. Okay, hold on. Ah. Come on. Gotta be something. Come on. Come on, right here. Right here. This is where it happened. Okay, that's a snag. Come on. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Come on now. There's always a bass or a pickerel. Bass on this end, pickerel on the other. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should switch to my another pole. I haven't used but one bait all this time. All right, am I really gonna do this at 8:30 in the evening? Unbelievable. Gary, you're desperate now. Come on. I got the dark blue with the chartreuse tail, with the glitter throughout. There we go. Right, with the chartreuse tail. That's a winner. All right, here we go. Oh, I thought that was something. It was a snag. Come on. Come on. Something, see it. Come on, you can't resist this thing. This thing is yellow. Chartreuse. Your favorite. Come on. Just passionate with fishermen. And yeah, it's true. It's that tight line feeling, I guess, that gets addicting. You know, it's like you just want to swing and sink that thing in its mouth. Come on, come on. There was 2 giant hits. I can't believe I let that second one. What was I thinking? I wasn't. That was the problem. I was talking. Come on. Wait. Okay, how about up close? How about instead of far, how about like right here in front of me? And yet, I'm surprised the light is still illuminating me as much as it is. It must be the camera. Let's see, right here in front of me. There's like a bunch of lily pads, big, thick little patch of them. Come on. I'm just dragging it up to the top, dragging it over the lily pads. Here, you know what? I wonder how good of a light. Instead of turning it around, I wonder if I can just hit without getting the pole in the picture. 1 second. No. Without. Let's see if I can get this. See if I can switch this. Oh, I'm gonna break it. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, I thought I had a fish, but it was my boat rearranging itself. You know what? That ain't gonna work. I can't seem to get it situated, so that might do it. Well, it sure is pretty though. The color of the lake this time of the night. It's got to be that pickerel or whatever it was. I'm dragging right through his territory that I got that hit. So I'm expecting it to just light up, but it's not. Son of a gun. Okay, well, come on. This has got to be creating some vibration to just get something to just go crazy and hit this thing. Come on. I'm stuck on some lily pads. Hold on. Son of a gun. Son of a biscuit eater. I'm going back to the the swim bait here. Hold on. The blue with the watermelon green swirled through it. I've learned, the locals told me from the very beginning, the darker the better. So everything in New Jersey that I throw, it seems like everywhere I go now, everything's dark. Black, blues, dark green. And then a splash of chartreuse usually on the tail or something is just like the ultimate, the icing on the cake. Come on. It might be 8 o'clock, but Yes, I'm getting skunked, bro. What's your name again? Oh, Jumpin' Tomato. Come on, come on. You know what I also found, and this is just bad juju, is at 8 o'clock the bite stops, and it's already what? What time is it? 8:40. Oh my gosh! It's almost 9 o'clock. What am I doing out in the water at 9? I'm usually in the Wawa. That's the 7-Eleven and steroids back here. I'm usually at the Wawa getting coffee. I'm having them make me a separate what you call it, of dark roast coffee. They stopped making it at 7:30, the dark roast, for whatever reason. I guess it's not popular after a certain time. But when they see me come in, two of the girls know me, and they're like, dark roast coffee for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, make it Cuban this time." Cuban or dark roast. They know they'll make it especially for me, because if they don't make it, I'm going to ask them anyway. So they don't deny you. You just have to ask. So they make a pot of it's that serve yourself bar, and they'll make a separate. It takes 5 minutes to brew, so I'll go order something off the touchscreen deli. It's a, I don't know if you've ever been into a Wawa before, but it's WAWA. But it's a 7-Eleven on steroids. It's incredible. They got a deli, on-screen order deli with, a typical convenience store selection, along with a center island with already made sandwiches, from wraps to packaged pickles to spicy pickles to potato salad, macaroni salad, pineapple, mango, grapes, watermelon. I could go on and on and on. And then they got of all the cold section with all the drinks and the cabinets, the doors and stuff. All right, I'm not catching anything. Am I gonna actually submit to the? I can't. To the skunk. Um, yeah. Am I gonna actually just have to be humbled and not catch anything? Oh well. Unless something happens right here, I'm out of here. All right. Well, I'm going to hang it up. See if I can get some lights on the subject situated where you can see me a little better. I've got a neck light here, but I'm going to turn it on and then put it over here. Let's see if I can fix it. So, oh my gosh, that's bright. Hold on a second. I can turn them down. There we go. Hold on. Hold on, that's too bright. Got to go the other way around. Hold on. There we go. There we go. And this one, stand by. That's bright. And then all the way down. All the way down. There we go. Okay, let's see how bright that is. Oh, that's better. Oh, look at that. Wow, now I can't see anything. Oh, dude, look at the sky. Hold on, look at the sky. Look at the sky over there. Yeah. Let me zoom in on that a little bit for you. Wow, that's cool. How's that? Pretty cool. Let me zoom back a little bit. There you go. Whoa, look at the reflection on the water. Right down there. Yeah. I know, that's true. Just being out here on the water is like so relaxing. It's not like sure. Wow. All right. Well, I think I got the right mix of brightness there. And oh, there's the moon. Oh, look, there's the moon right behind me. Look at that, a little added light. How many lights we got going? We got my stern light. We got the moon. We got the light on my face. Somebody do a screenshot right there. Wow. Here, hold on. Let me get it arranged here. This is going to be in my video, so I'll have to look at that. That's a good shot right there. You know what, guys? I am so wanting to fish still. Gosh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Oh, I can't help it. Like, I've got to fish. Wait. I'm going to catch something. Oh my goodness. I know. This is cool. Wow. Let me show you the walkway to the college campus for the kids, you know, the students, I should say. The bike path is lit up with, you know, poles with lights on top, and it's got a blue light over by the dam. I should see if you can see that over here. Hold on. There you go. There's the dam right over there with the blue light. See the blue light right down there? Oh, the kayak's turning itself. So. Okay, let's see. Let me see if anything lights up on the bait here in the dark. There again. That is too cool. It's like a 3/4 moon. I was looking at it before. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's like 3/4 moon. You know what? I'm going to continue to fish even when I start motoring back in. I've got to catch something. This just doesn't make sense. Man, look at that. Whoa, what happened? Oh, that's just my screen. Oh no, it decreased the light. How did it do that? Or why did it do that? That's kind of weird. Why is it so dull now? Hold on. My light didn't diminish. It was like the aperture changed, and now it's not as bright. That's kind of funky. Huh. Wait. I'm doing that on purpose to try to get the brightness back. That's kind of weird. I think my brightness changed, did it? There. Hold on. There we go. Oh. Yeah, the aperture changed because I just changed the brightness and it didn't do anything to brighten up the setting. Wonder why it did that. Hold on. Stand by. Oh, it is? Okay. The same. On my end, it kind of went down like a step, you know, in brightness. Hold on. That's too bright. I know. I'm going to go to the very minimum until it flashes once. There you go. Okay. So that's okay still? Weird. Look at the where the sunset is still going down. Look at that. Hey, that's cool. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. All right, I'm here. Anybody still there? Sorry about that. My battery went completely dead. Oh my gosh, look at the reflection on the water right here. Oh my gosh. You guys got to see this. If you can make it out or not, I don't know. Oh my gosh, the water. Look at the water. That is crazy. Wow. Wow. Okay, it's back. You know what? I lost the battery completely. 0%. I forgot to plug it in. Oh my gosh. Did you see the reflection on the water that I was seeing? I had to get a screenshot of that. That is crazy pretty. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Gosh. That is wild. Look at that. That is so pretty. Wow, that's nighttime. That is coming through the clouds and onto the lake water. Holy moly. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Jay, you're still there. Oh, I thought that was jumping tomatoes. Oh, jumping tomatoes was right. He said, battery gonna die, I think, maybe. And you know what? It's exactly what happened. All right, Jay. Later, brother. Always cool to see you still here after all this time. Here, look at the gosh, I gotta show you. Look at the dam side. Look how it's illuminated. Wait. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Oh my gosh, look at the reflection. The reflection is like rotating. It's almost like the earth. What the heck? This isn't a rocket shot, is it? Like a contrail? I mean I'm sorry. The trail of a rocket up in the night sky? Look at this. Watch it come into view. Watch this. And on the lake. Right there. Holy moly. That's wicked. It is pitch black out here, and that is in the sky. It's actually lighter on the camera than it is here in real life, but wow. Look how that illuminated. I gotta get another screenshot of that. Wow. Absolutely wow. I know. This is so cool. What a treat. I might have got shut out, but boy, this is pretty. Here, you know what? Here, God, I'm almost trying to get the... There. Another screenshot here. Oh. Wow. Keep rotating. The wind is kind of rotating me away from it. There we go. So pretty. I'm enjoying what you're seeing right now. I'm like, whoa. That is too cool. I can't get enough of this. This is wicked. There, you're back. Tomatoes. You were right, bro. I lost my battery. I just read your comment. You said, I think he's about to lose his battery. And you're absolutely right. I didn't have my phone plugged in. I forgot. I was charging something else. And it went down to 0. But look at the light. It is pitch black out here. And yet this is still coming through the clouds. Look at that. It's wicked. It's brighter on the camera than it is in real life, but boy, that's pretty. Wow. Yeah, it was still live. I just had to power up. I had to get enough juice to power up the phone. I think Jay already left. He had to take off. But look at the lake. Here, let me turn you around. You haven't seen the dam yet. But the dam's looking pretty also. It's kind of got some fog coming up off the lake. And the blue light on the dam. Hold on a second. Oh, you're still there. Gotcha. Here, check this out. Jumping. Look at the lake side. I mean the dam side right here, coming up right here, with the blue light there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Gosh, this reminds me of sailing. You just don't see and feel and experience this unless you're out on the water. So pretty. Zoom in on that blue light a little bit. There you go. Wow. Well, whoever's watching, if they're not watching, they're sure missing out. That's for sure. Whoop. There it goes. Came back. I love it. I love it. Yeah. There's the dam right there where the blue light is. It's not a very aggressive damp. It's just trickling over the edge. You can hang out there and not even get swept over. It's just you just got to pay attention and make sure you don't drift. Let me see if I can orient myself and get back, because I'm blinded by the light. Oh my gosh, look at the light here right on the lake in front of me. Goodness gracious, I gotta keep bragging on this reflection. Watch this thing come into view. Watch this light come into view. Look at that, right on my bow. It's like right there. Oh my gosh, that is so good. It's East Coast, right on the Atlantic, about 10 miles off the ocean. In New Jersey. Atlantic County, New Jersey. This is a college campus, Jumping Tomatoes. Stockton College. This is on their campus. I'm on their campus being in this lake. Isn't this cool? Okay, I'm gonna shut off the fish finder. And I think where those lights are, the most lights that you see right there in front, that group of white lights, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how I get out of here. That's my launch right over there. It's really not a boat ramp, it's just a dirt road that ends at the water. But I'm a little, I can't tell my landmarks, but I think that's, I'm gonna head to it. Find out when I get there. Because there's no other lights, so that's gotta be it. Oh, awesome. Yep. Retired, and I'm not on any set schedule. I used to be, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I haven't set anything. And so if you want to, you can subscribe, and then you'll get the notifications. I was a Navy corpsman with the United States Marine Corps, providing medical support for them. So the nickname they give us is Doc, hence the name of the channel. So if you call me Doc, you'll get my attention. I was a civilian paramedic in the civilian world and a Navy corpsman in the United States Navy. Why is that light so bright? Very deceiving as to what I'm heading towards. Why is that? Is that somebody's car? What the heck? Oh wait, that's the island. Ah, Okay, I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I lost my my night vision. That's the they're having some kind of I think an event or something at the cafeteria, and all the lights are on, so that got my attention. That is not my dock. There is a floating dock here, plastic one, but I'm not going there. Although I am going there, but that isn't where I need to go. I need to go down the lake here a little bit, down the shore. Oh, beautiful. Awesome, awesome. Oh, really? What branch are you looking to get into? You know, being blinded by this light, I'm not really being blinded, but with the light in my face, it definitely, okay, I got my vision, my peripheral here over to the side, and I can see sort of where I'm going now. I think I'm good to go. Find out real quick if I'm lined up or not. I can barely see. I should be able to see like a blue light. There's another blue light like over there at the dam that I usually use as a reference point, but I don't see it lit up, so that's why I'm questioning if I'm lined up or not. You know, I could always, oh, I got my fish finder off. I was going to say I have it marked on my, oh, there's the blue light. I see it. Give me 1 second. Aha. I got it official now. I finally got the landmark confirmed here. Okay, I have landed. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Okay, spin myself over here. Oh, that's stinky. Whew. All right. Hey guys, only for practical purposes, I'm out of here. Thank you for hanging out and bearing with my battery failure and all the rest, but I'm going to call it quits now. Again, look for me. Get my notification. I'll be probably doing this about the same time. It's right now 9:17 in the evening. And I usually do the afternoon session fishing, which is anywhere from 3 p.m. until dark. So whatever that equates to back on the East Coast, noon until 5 p.m. Or thereabouts, 1 o'clock until 6 in New Mexico. All right, Jay. Later, you're still there, as you were. Yeah, you hear him? Yeah. There's one over here. Oh, right in front of me. You're everywhere. I got bugs creeping in down in here, so I'm gonna get out of here and get this light out of my face. Later, guys. As you were. Good night.